All right, here we go. Good Monday morning. It is October the 6th. This is Ben at 10. It is your Southern Indiana and beyond weather show. So thanks for being a part of it here. We'll wait for some folks to get on board. But we have some rain to talk about for today and tomorrow. And it actually could be a pretty healthy amount. We're talking about 1 to 2 inch rainfall totals by tomorrow night. So grab the rain gear. It is scattered out and about out there right now. Be prepared for some wet roads and grab the umbrella. And here, as we bring it right up to the stage, there you can see the scattered rain that we have across the area right now. Kind of hit or miss, kind of in pockets right now, moving up from the south. So these showers being produced on what we call isentropic lift. It's this air rising up from the south, creating some of these scattered showers. This is all well ahead of the cold front that's actually going to move through tomorrow and then bring in some cooler conditions for the rest of this week. We'll have an October-y feel with some low temperatures down to the 40s by midweek. So we'll take a look at those changes. So we've got rain changes and temperature changes after about 11 dry days in the row. So this rainfall definitely going to help out with the drought conditions across the area. So as we just kind of take a look from north to south and do our little radar tour, there you can see some of these scattered showers around Scottsburg and up to the north, around Jackson County, Brownstown to Seymour, just some sprinkles and spots. But as we look down here, Austin dry at the moment, but you can see at any point that can change pretty quickly with the scattered nature of some of these showers around the area. And by the way, no severe weather with any of this. I doubt we're going to hear much of any thunder with it. We just don't have the ingredients to produce any real thunderstorm activity. But there you can see, we'll see some heavy pockets of rainfall from time to time as we look at Louisville Metro right now, some spotty sprinkles, a little bit heavier off to the east there around the Shelby and Jefferson County line. And as we look a little bit farther to the south, Bardstown getting in on some of that heavier rain. And then off to the west in Breckenridge County, Kentucky, around Hardinsburg to Irvington, down Highway 60. There you can see some of that heavier rain coming down right now in eastern Breckenridge County. And again, as I mentioned, from now all the way through tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, we might see upwards of around 1 to 2 inches, maybe even a little bit more in a few areas as well. All right, so we're rocking and rolling here on our Monday morning. And now that we got the radar tour there for you, we are going to bring up a live look outside, and then we'll get to some of your comments. There you can see the cloudy conditions that we have across the area, the wet roads, as it looks like the power crews are cruising on by here in uptown New Albany, looking live from our Extol Media Studios in uptown New Albany here. So another good morning as some folks are getting on board here, talking rain today and tomorrow. Thanks for joining me on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Peine, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, and extolmag.com/weather on the good old World Wide Web. And that will prompt me as well to take a look at extolmag.com/weather. Let's bring that up. That's where you can find the interactive radar. You can play along and be your own meteorologist here this morning. This is also going to show you another live look here with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. Again, pretty cloudy wherever we look around the area. So just going to hit the refresh button here at extolmag.com. There you can see the live stream is up. The interactive radar does have some colors on it. That means we're tracking some rain this morning. We got the brand new 7-day forecast posted, the brand new weather story posted, talking more about this rainfall. Thankfully, the severe weather threat, today's severe weather outlook, tomorrow's severe weather outlook is 0 out of 5 for our area. And hopefully by Thursday with this rain, the drought monitor will improve. Every Thursday is when that updates. You can scroll down just a little bit farther, and then there you can see the big screen version of, and you can actually put a full big screen of the scattered showers that we have across the area. You can hit play if you'd like to and watch the rain in motion as it will be moving from south to north, kind of a south-southwest to north-northeast kind of component to this. And with the clouds and the rain, the temperatures will be held down a little bit as well. So it's going to be pretty comfortable out there. Right now, our temperatures are in the 60s as we plot those out. And our winds are going to be pretty light today from the southwest at around, from the south and southwest, around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So again, lots of tools here all the time. extolmag.com/weather, extolmag.com/weather. All right, as we see here, finally, some things to talk about this morning. So we're tracking that rain for you. Beverly Hagest, a good morning from Borden, Indiana. Woke up to some of this rain this morning. And Tim Furnish from Madison checking in. Does this weather qualify as an Indian summer? I would say no. This week is we got a cool down. Now, the mid 80s that we had, I guess technically. I don't even know if there's a technical term. I just think it's something we've always just said. Dennis Gregory, good morning from Bedford. Just looked out the office window square. It was dampish. I like that, dampish. I guess it sprinkled since the 7 a.m. walk. Good job getting in that walk. I did a lot of cutting logs over the weekend, as if you saw on my Facebook page. My dad and I were getting that winter wood in because we heat with a wood stove at our house. Christian Walker's got a good morning there from Carmel, Indiana. And again, we're looking at the radar loop here as we're checking out some of the comments. Orlean Whitlow, we got a little rain here in Hodgeville this morning. It was 66 when I got up, 69 now. Oh, nice. And Christian's got highs in the 80s. I don't think we're going to make it in the 80s here because of the rain. I think we'll be stuck in the 70s, which is not too shabby. All right, let me go ahead and bring up a little bit of the forecast here as we get rolling along on our Monday. So some showers out there today. Obviously, we already have them out for your October 6th. It's going to be wet tomorrow. Could see 1 to 2 inch rainfall totals. No severe weather with this. And then a cool pattern developing throughout this week. We're looking at maybe just some upper 60s Wednesday, Thursday, lows dipping down to the 40s in many locations. So definitely much more October feel for this week. Play ball forecast. There might be some things that get canceled because of the rain, but it'll be 70s, cloudy, 60% chance of these scattered showers. I think it'll turn a little bit heavier later today and tonight. And we'll look at that with the hour-by-hour future radar products, the high-resolution weather models, here in just a second for you. Let me get rid of that and bring this one back up here. Again, there's a look at those tools right there. I just want to give a shout out to our partners here, Lions Roofing, lionsroofingco.com. Get free estimates. Of course, you don't want a leaky roof when you got a 1 to 2 inch rainfall forecast. So if you want to get a free estimate and get it checked out, if you have any, maybe seeing some issues with the shingles, might just want to play it safe. Again, you can fill out that online, lionsroofingco.com, or you can give them a call. Either side of the river around Louisville Metro, they got you covered, 812-294-3595. Might have to work hand in hand with your insurance company. I recommend you get a quote from Michael Long with AmFam, American Family Insurance. They've had some auto renewal reductions in price. So if you want to get a quote, tell him that I sent you to amfam.com, 812-578-3072. And it is Monday. That means if you want to learn more about your post-secondary education, Ivy Tech is going to meet you where you are at. And you can meet them on campus, Sellersburg campus, Highway 311 at 65, 9 miles north of Louisville. And they've got Tuesdays at the Tech here where you can get registered and you can schedule a visit, whether you're at a high school, wanting to go to college, maybe you already have an established career you're not happy with. They're going to, again, meet you where you are at. So you can figure out ways to get started at Ivy Tech, register for classes, career development, paying for college, and all that good stuff there. They have a ton of resources for you at ivytech.edu. Just go to locations and go to Sellersburg. So again, that's thanks to our partners for allowing us to do what we do here. And thanks to our weather family for being here as well. A gloomy start to the day with the scattered rain showers throughout the area so far this morning. Again, there's the live look with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation cam. And we're going to do another tour of the radar before we start to really dig into that forecast. We will also take moments to do the weather jokes. John Fox is to blame for these, not me. We've got your weather history. And again, then typically around 10:20, we'll be digging into the weather models, looking at the timing out this rain for early this week. And then we'll look at some long-range data as well. So again, we've got a lot of content to get through here on this Monday. Let's get after it then. We got a good morning popping in from Lillian Lasley. Good morning to you. Thanks for watching here this morning. We got 70 there in Grayson County. And Christian, you are correct. The weekend is looking good. We've got Harvest Homecoming this week. And I believe Thursday through Sunday are the booth days. And it looks like we'll be clearing out nicely by that time. And Joseph Rubel, looks like rain here soon in Shelby County. Yeah, we can certainly bring that back up. As I mentioned, I wanted to give a tour once again of the live scan radar. So let's do that before we dig into the forecast once again. Always nice when we have some current conditions to check out. But you're talking about there in Shelby County. So that blob of rain down in Bardstown, that's going to be generally heading your direction there, Joseph. So, yeah, plan on some wetter conditions not too far off there for you. You can see the motion of that rainfall, too, as we do a little short-term loop. Again, moving from the south-southwest to the north-northeast with this rainfall there. Then you got some heavier pockets moving from Breckenridge County and into Meade County. So if you're around Brandenburg and Harrison County, Indiana, then you're going to be looking at some wetter conditions here over the next half hour to an hour, and then just kind of bits and pieces of some sprinkles and spots and little showers cruising through southern Indiana right now. So that's a look at what we have as we take a closer look at Louisville Metro proper. Some heavier pockets of rain on the northeast side, just to the east of Crestwood, kind of on the Oldham and Shelby County line. And then as we get a little bit closer into New Albany, Clarksville, Jeffersonville has a little bit of a shower there, kind of near the River Ridge area and just to the east of Charlestown. Okay, that is a mouthful right there as we do the tour of the radar. So bringing back the forecast. And Steve Gibbons, I was always told by the old timers that a period of unseasonably warm, dry, and clear weather that occurs in late autumn after the first frost. I would go with that as well. All right, how many days until? Average highs in the 60s, 13 days away. We might get a little taste of that Wednesday, Thursday. Our time change in 27 days, average first flurries in just 40 days, and our Thanksgiving just 52 days away. And our weather history for today, 1952, sleet fell at several locations in Arkansas, making it the earliest documented winter precipitation in the state. Sleet and snow were also reported in central Kentucky, 1952, this early in the year. 1963, for 5 days along the coast of Cuba, Hurricane Flora lashed the island with winds up to 100 miles per hour, dumped 70 inches of rain. Check this out. The storm killed 7,000 people. These weather disasters are insane, especially back in the day. 1967, a Canadian weather record one-day rainfall, 19 inches, fell on Vancouver Island. 1972, Arizona experienced a tropical storm when the remnants of Pacific Hurricane Joanne made their way to the state. 5 inches rainfall there. 1981, a Fokker. I didn't use a curse word there. That's the name of the airplane. The Fokker F-28 passenger flight flew into a tornado in Holland at about an altitude of 3,000 feet. Shortly after takeoff, they experienced nearly 7 Gs of force, resulting in the detachment of the starboard wing. Onboard instruments recorded significant pressure variations as the plane entered or near the vortex. The plane crashed, killing all 17 on board. Yeah, these are not happy endings on a lot of these weather disasters here, weather history. In 2010, 8 tornadoes tore through northern Arizona during the pre-dawn hours. It was the greatest number of tornadoes ever recorded in Arizona in a single day. One was an EF3. Wild weather history today. All right, here's your stupid weather jokes. Kind of weather related, some of them maybe not, but these are from John Fox, our viewer John Fox. Do not blame me for these. He dug them up. What kind of shoes do frogs wear? Open-toed shoe sandals. How did I know my girlfriend? Wait a minute. I think I wrote this right. How did I know my girlfriend thought I was invading her privacy? She wrote about it in her diary. Not even weather related. Shared them from John Fox. Did I tell you about the time I went mushroom hunting? It's a story with a morel at the end. Morel? I get it. We're moving on. All right. The algae report's going to be lower the next several days thanks to some of that rainfall. Today's forecast, we've got scattered showers increasing across the area, mostly cloudy days, south wind 5 to 10, temperatures in the 70s this afternoon, just kind of wet out there from time to time. And our low tonight was steadier rain overnight, 64 degrees. Plan on a wet start to your Tuesday, October the 7th. Here's tomorrow's forecast. As we break it down here, 60s in the morning, 74 tomorrow afternoon, about 100% chance of that rain tomorrow. Again, not worried about severe weather with this. Tomorrow's high 74, the low 54 degrees. The average highs and lows 74 and 54. So our temperatures are actually kind of close to normal. And then once we clear it out Wednesday, we'll drop to a high around 70 there, down to 46 Wednesday night. So that's one of our chilliest nights we've seen in months. Upper 60s on Thursday with some sunshine, down to 48 Thursday night. 73 on Friday. So looking good again for the Harvest Homecoming booth days. Lower 70s, it looks like, for Saturday, Sunday. I put just a really small chance of a little shower Saturday. It looks like a little disturbance will kind of move through. It's kind of half and half right now. GFS shows a little bit. Euro's pretty dry. So I'm just going with a little 20% there. But you can see after Tuesday, a drier weather pattern and cool, comfortable, nice, mild, seasonably mild afternoons and some chilly mornings. So we might need a little heavier jacket getting started as we head into the weekend. So that's your forecast in detail. Time for another tour of the radar and also look at the future radar. We're going to look at dig into the weather models now and plan out the rain for the next couple of days. And before I do that, I want to mention you can always contact me, Ben at extolmag.com. If you got weather questions, you want to share some weather jokes, or if you want to join us with advertising and marketing solutions here in Southern Indiana and beyond. It's not only Extol Weather, it's Extol Media. We reach over 80,000 people, and I've had 1.4 million views just on my page here over the last month. So we can get that word out. You want to see your logo on our products, your business, your organization. Again, there's a way that you can reach out easily to one of us. Bringing it back here to the stage as we start to move along there, you can see the radar and the rain as we look at the live scan here. And now time to take that rain into the future here, guys, as we bring up the weather model data, the future radar, as we like to call it. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up, we'll start with the high resolution rapid refresh weather model. It updates every hour. And it has a little the scattering of some of the rainfall around here. It's just starting to pick up on this. It didn't have much earlier this morning. As it updates each hour, it's starting to pick up on reality. It's ingesting a lot of data from radars and temperatures all over the United States. So it's coming in. It's starting to pick up on that rain. All right. So as we put this into the future, here you can see the scattered rain continuing off and on. Not a total washout. We're going to get some breaks every now and again. I'm stopping this here at around 3 o'clock, but just plan on some of these showers basically off and on for today. And notice the rain starts to pick up late afternoon, evening time. This is around 5 p.m. today, going to 6 o'clock. And there might be a trend where areas southeast of Louisville, say toward Campbellsville, Lebanon, Kentucky, Hodgenville, might be drier for longer overall. You can see rain a little bit heavier west of I-65 in general for later this afternoon and evening. This is around 7 p.m. But eventually through later on tonight, that rain's going to overspread more and more of the area. There you can see it really started to pick up during the late night hours. Now, I can't rule out a rumble of thunder, but again, not expecting any severe weather out of this activity. This is around 10 p.m. today. And this is at 11 p.m. going to midnight here. So just a wet night tonight, especially for Southern Indiana. You get farther south, southeast, it's just going to take longer for that rain to pick up in your area, as this is kind of a slow-moving front that is going to be moving through the region. This is looking at 2 a.m. And we still got more rain out to the west. So a lot of this is out ahead of the actual front that'll bring in that temperature change a little bit later on this week. Now look at that. Let's play Find the Front game. So these are the 2 a.m. temperatures. And you can obviously see a pretty good contrast in temperatures. And we can query this and look at some of the temps. Oops, that didn't work. Let's try it one more time. There we go. So this is during the overnight. We're looking at 60s. And even some 70s out ahead of the front. And then behind the front, there you can see that change. We're talking some 40s for lows for us. They've actually got some 30s out in Colorado. So not only do we get the rain, we get a temperature drop as well a little bit later on this week. So again, easy game to play here. Find that front at 2 a.m. Basically from Chicago down through Kansas City and into northern Texas. Behind that, 40s and 30s. Out ahead of the front during the overnight tonight, you're looking at lows in the 60s. So it's going to, again, gradually move on through our area tomorrow and bring some more rain. So now we're going to go back to what we call the reflectivity. That's your radar view. And we'll zoom back in here and watch more of that rain spill our way. So this is looking at around 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. There might be some breaks, but they'll fill in pretty quickly, it looks like. So this is around 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, looking hour by hour. Here's 11. Here's noon tomorrow. Midday tomorrow into the early afternoon looks especially wet. Look at that rain right there. So Kentucky, our friends in the Commonwealth, if you're not picking up on a whole lot of rain through the rest of tonight, you can see it really fills in for tomorrow, especially as we head through the afternoon. This is at 2 p.m. tomorrow. That looks obviously rather soggy across the area. So plan on a washout for much of our Tuesday. And again, this will likely add up to about 1 to 2 inches of rainfall across the area. Pretty healthy amount of rain, no doubt about that. Let's take it into tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. There you can see the rain continuing. We'll go to 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Notice this looking lighter tomorrow evening, especially west of I-65, lingering longer for areas east of I-65 tomorrow afternoon and into the evening time. And that rain begins to wind down tomorrow night. And after all is said and done, here's a look at some of the radar rainfall total estimates across the area. And it's going to be scattered amounts. So you might see anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches. There's a 3-inch amount. So again, we're seeing the weather models here printing out anywhere from about 1 inch to 2 inches. There might be some areas that pick up a little bit more than that. As far as you, Christian, up in Carmel, Indiana, it's showing about a 1/2 inch for your area. You're just kind of on the edge of it. But kind of a bullseye across the Ohio Valley, southern Indiana, and into Kentucky with these rainfall totals. So, again, a very healthy amount. John Fox said was hunting this morning, got rained out, hoping for better weather this afternoon. I cannot promise you that, John. But we just showed your jokes. We blamed you for the jokes this morning. Yes, John, you just missed the hour by hour. But I'll take you through the NAM 3-kilometer high-resolution weather model. There is more rain for this afternoon. Depends where you're hunting as well. It looks drier southeast of Louisville later this afternoon, wetter west of I-65 in general. So let's do that. Let's bring up the NAM 3-kilometer. It's another high-resolution weather model. And I'm going to bring this to 11 o'clock this morning. We'll back up the time frame here, and I need to bring up the reflectivity. And let's see how the model's doing. It's picking up on some of the scattered light rain across the area to answer John Fox's question for the afternoon. We might get to, we're going to get some breaks. And take a look here, John. There you can see this one is trending wet. This is at 4 or 5 o'clock today. You can see wetter as we progress through late afternoon, evening time. This is the NAM 3-kilometer weather model. But now let me bring up the HRRR that updates every half hour. And there you can see wet weather for this afternoon. So if you kind of blend that, the general trend I've been seeing is wettest west of I-65 and in southern Indiana for this afternoon. Drier the farther southeast you go of Louisville for longer today. Either way, I'd be ready for some more rain showers today. So there you go. There you can see this is a 5 p.m. snapshot of some scattered showers still across the area. Yeah, not looking the best. There'll be some breaks. Put on some rain gear, I guess, if you want to head out there. All right, so that's the rain today. Let me go back to the NAM 3-kilometer. We're going to zip this ahead to later on this evening. Just kind of comparing and contrast to the high-resolution weather models. This is at around 8 p.m. today. There you can see the rain overspreading the area. through the overnight, it looks like that rain is going to continue. This is here at 4 a.m. We'll stop it here when a lot of folks are heading off to work, 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So waves of wet weather, some breaks in between. That was very similar to the HRRR high resolution rapid refresh weather model. And then both midday tomorrow show pretty washout conditions across the area. Going into tomorrow early afternoon here at 2 p.m., there you can see widespread rain throughout the area. So the NAM and the HRRR weather models pretty identical to showing the really soggy conditions here for tomorrow afternoon. Big happy break. Cheers. With the coffee there this morning. Carol Payne with the live report, sprinkling in Georgetown. Yeah, we'll get back to the live radar here after we do the weather models in just a moment. Okay, so that's a snapshot of tomorrow afternoon. We're pushing the weather models ahead. We'll go late afternoon, early evening for your Tuesday. There you can see that rain continuing. As we go after sunset, we're starting to see areas west of I-65 tomorrow, starting to the rain tapering off. Still heavier east of I-65. And this is going to 2 a.m. into early Wednesday morning. There you can see the rain starting to shut off to the southeast. And then we'll be back to a pretty dry weather pattern for the rest of this week and much cooler as well. Speaking of cooler, now we need to load up the GFS weather model so we can look a little bit farther down the road here. And what about those dew points? If you remember, I'm always talking about the dew points. This is one of the easiest way to see an air mass change, changing from some of the humidity we have and the rain that we have around the area to dry weather. The dry weather is in the red. Red is dry. Green is humid. So there you can see that front cutting right across the area. I mean, right on top of the Ohio River here. This is 2 a.m. Wednesday morning, cold front crossing Kentuckiana. Going into our Wednesday morning, that front is starting to move off to the south. Notice the Hoosier State in all dry air, while a little bit of that humidity is left over parts of Kentucky. And how dry of this air are we talking about as we head into Wednesday afternoon? Dew points in the 40s and 30s. That is super dry air. It's going to feel amazing. Very, very comfortable conditions and much more fall-like, much more like October as we head through this weekend. Actually, midweek and through this weekend. So the temperatures here for Wednesday afternoon, look at that, some upper 60s. I know some of you, October is your favorite month because it feels like this right here. So we're going to need those warmer jackets in the morning and feel good, seasonably mild conditions here in the upper 60s Wednesday afternoon. So that's the big change we've been talking about on the way pretty soon here for us. Now, as we go into our Thursday morning, we got a little bit of a chill here, showing some 40s on the map for you. So this will be probably our chilliest morning since maybe early May. I'd have to look back. So there you go. If you're just popping in, there's your Thursday morning temperatures. Not cold enough for frost, but certainly temperatures we're not used to. Would be a little bit shivery out there. Thankfully, it's fall break for many of our students in southern Indiana, so a lot of kids will just be sleeping in and not hanging out at the bus stop with that kind of chill. And then as we go into our Thursday afternoon, still liking those upper 60s, low 70s throughout the area. There we go. There we go. We're liking it. We're liking it. There's your Thursday. Put your hand up if you're a fan of the cool down on the way. And actually the rainfall as well. Again, a good healthy 1 to 2 inches is going to really put a dent in the drought conditions that we have across the area. This is going into our Friday morning. Still got that chill over the area. So we might have some furnaces kicking on for the first time this season with those lows down to the 40s. And Vicky Berger saying, we need the rain, combine catching fire with it so dry. I saw that in a Facebook report there in Washington County. So yeah, the crop dust can be a little dangerous, flaming up sometimes. Orlean Whitlow sounding good. Yeah, it is kind of all good. Getting this rain out of the way early in the week, and then looking at some nice, comfortable, cooler conditions later on this week. Now, as we push ahead, we'll try to look for some even chillier conditions. I'm not sure if they'll show up because we're going to be both looking at this at the same time, but this means it is time for the Ben on a Limb segment. Before we do that, though, I wanted to show you what I saw in the woods. Not many people have seen this if you're not out in the woods a lot, but it's this time.
All right, we got some beechwood aphids, and they like to party.
Look how thick they are up there. That's crazy. Never seen anything like it.
So those little party animals right there are these little soft-looking white little bugs. You get near them and they start bouncing up and down, and they only gather on beech tree limbs. And then underneath them, they're there so long there's like, it looks like ash on the ground underneath them from like their waist. So kind of interesting if you've never seen them. My dad had never seen them before, and I had never seen them until I moved out there. So pretty cool. My stepmom Diana Peine saying that is so cool. Lily and Lasley had an awesome weekend with daughter and family. Good to hear that. And Christian's getting a break, fall break, October 10th through the 14th. All right, as I mentioned, let's start to look down the road at maybe another potential cold front. And one of the easiest ways for me to see when we're going to get another cold front to move through the area is looking at these dew points. And there's a lot of dry air here, guys. There's not much humidity. Perhaps for the rest of the month. As you know, the humidity does shut off pretty good this time of the year and through November. I'm just looking for some potential shots of some cool air. Let's bring up the temperature map. I'm jumping ahead here to the 12th of October. So this would be, what is it, this Sunday? Yeah, looking at 70s. Moving ahead into next week. So check that out. Cool morning there into next week. Like, looks like there might be a warm up. You'll get a warm up ahead of a cold front. As a cold front moves in, you get a south breeze ahead of it, and you might get a little more humidity. Bring up the dew points. That'll probably start to be on the rise a little bit as this front approaches. So this is showing mid-October. And, oh, yeah. Okay, so now we're seeing some organization here. This would be a front organizing. You can see the really dry air behind it. This is right smack dab in the middle of October. Look at October 14th here. There might be a little rise in the humidity. Again, that flow ahead of the cold front. Do a little analysis there. And then it looks like that would be strong enough to move through our region, perhaps. This is going into 14th evening. Or does it get hung up? If it gets hung up, then we'll have some rain for a while. So let me bring up if this is showing rain or not. And then we'll get back to the radar and do another hour-by-hour look for today and tomorrow. But we're looking down the road here a little bit. Looks like it might be kind of a yo-yo weather pattern, off and on rain chances, more progressive weather pattern, meaning we're not stuck in a dry weather pattern. We won't be stuck with rain, but it's going to be up and down as we get a series of fronts to move through the region. So this is looking a little bit farther to the 16th. Looks like we may get a front to move through around that time period. Let me bring up the temperature map once again. See that cold air. Will it win? Will it win the battle? This is at 5 p.m. on the 16th. Some 60s, 70s, 80s south. Still not seeing anything crazy cold just yet. This is the morning of the 17th. 40s, 50s, not crazy. Let me back up our view. Yeah, so that's what I mean, just like up and down with these temperatures. You can see that yellow and that orange moving in, a little bit of a warm up. I have maybe another potential cold front. That looks like another more organized front that could be moving through. No, this is looking at the 18th. All right, that's looking a little bluer there for us. So what are we talking about here? If we can get a solid front to move through 18th, 19th, couple weeks, look at some lower 40s possibly. Still not huge frost potential. And then going into the 19th afternoon, showing some 60s there. Not terribly cold. This is the morning of the 20th, showing 40s. Yeah, so I think it's just going to be kind of roller coaster, up and down, kind of whiplash weather as we head through the rest of this month, with not seeing any extremes necessarily. We might have some mornings that are a little bit below normal, but this is going on the very tail end of the GFS weather model here towards the 21st. And I'm going to take this, see how far out we can go. All right, so this is 384 hours out. A lot of the, showing a potential for some 30s last week. It's kind of gotten rid of the 30s. Christian, like I mentioned, with an up and down weather pattern, that means you've got a series of fronts that'll bring you, a rain chance every 2-3 days. A little warm up here, a little cool spell here. So it looks like we'll have a variety of weather, but I don't see anything too cold. I would say, either side of normal. I don't see anything extreme, Christian, for October, at least with this weather pattern right here, which is not a bad thing. If we can have a spell of normal October weather, that means it's going to feel really good. You're looking at highs in the 60s, 70s, lows in the 40s, 50s, and you get to enjoy the autumn season and not worry about any extremes. So hopefully that'll play out like that. Okay, that has been a look at the long-range outlook. We'll get back to what's happening now because we actually have some active weather out there now. So again, that has been Ben on a limb. So let's bring up the live radar sweep and do another tour of the radar, since we've been yapping here for about 10 minutes with the future radar. We'll look at the now radar. What's happening now with the live scan? And it will load up here in just 1 second. There we go. So southern Indiana, it's kind of like scattered sprinkles, little bits of some showers, except, as I mentioned earlier, Harrison County, Indiana, getting in on some of that heavier rainfall that has also moved into Brandenburg, scooting right out of Breckinridge County, Akron, and down into Irvington and Breckinridge County into Meade County, and spreading over the Ohio River into Harrison County, getting in on some of that heavy rainfall. Now, if that trajectory continues, notice we're going to pick up some heavier rain in downtown New Albany, into Georgetown, into the Knobs, perhaps into western Clark County. So be ready for some heavier pockets of rain here over the next hour for more areas in southern Indiana, especially along the Ohio River. Again, nothing severe with this. You can see with the motion of that rain, it's shifting from the south to the north. Go back to the live scan here. And then you've got heavier rain here setting up in eastern Bullitt County around Mount Washington, down to just east of Bardstown, Bloomfield, Nelson County pretty wet, into Spencer County pretty wet, and that's going to be sliding your way into Shelbyville and Shelby County. And then up I-71, we got a decent pocket of rain there near LaGrange. Expanding our view off to the south. There you can see, hit or miss, scattered for now. and then becoming more widespread across the area, especially west of I-65. It looks like late this afternoon into the evening time. We'll look at the high-res weather models again before we wrap things up here on our Monday. Bring up the radar and satellite view. We can look at the broader scope. And we'll do a loop of this. So the cold front is actually still way out to the west. That's not going to move through until late tomorrow. What we have here is this isentropic glide, this air flowing up from the south. As it comes up from the south, it's on kind of a ramp and going upwards, and rising air. The air cools and condenses, produces a cloud, produces raindrops, and so we've got some scattered showers. And then this out west is the front. It's all going to come together and be a big glob of some really wet conditions for tomorrow. So here we go. There you can see the scattered rain across Indiana and Kentucky here. Just kind of slowly moving in from the south to the northeast. South-southwest to the north-northeast is what we have out there now. And Steve Gibbons with the confirmation here, with the ground truth of the heavier rain in Brandenburg, Kentucky right now. Thank you, sir, for popping in. All right, one more time with the future radar. We'll do the forecast recap, and then we'll scoot along on a Monday. So here we go. I need to load up the HER weather model. Again, this updates every hour with brand new, fresh data. This here is at 11 o'clock this morning, showing some of the scattered showers that we have across the area. These are not necessarily perfect, but just gives you an idea that some rounds of rainfall are going to be in that forecast today. This is at 2 p.m. heading into the later afternoon hours. It's around 4 o'clock. And we can compare and contrast between that here and the NAM 3 kilometer. Again, there'll be some breaks, but then it'll kind of fill in from time to time. And I think we're looking wetter late day into the evening time too. This is around 6 o'clock. And notice some of those heavier showers starting to line up west of I-65. And then I'm going to compare that. That was the HRRR. This is the NAM 3 kilometer. There you can see more of that wet weather late day into the evening time. This is at 6 p.m. today. Kind of snapshot there for you. Back to the HRRR weather model. And I'm going to take this into the evening. Again, just scattered rain out and about. And then this is the NAM 3 kilometer weather model. Both showing scattered rain across the area from time to time this afternoon and tonight. Want to show you one more time, like noon, early afternoon tomorrow, because that one looks like when it could be the wettest across the area. So we will go here. I'll just go to 1 p.m. tomorrow on our October the 7th. There you can see that front is on top of us. So it's gathering all that moisture. Christian, the Colts did have a big game. What was it, like 40-6? I think they're, 4-1, having a good season so far. Lillian, you have a great day as well. And Beverly Haggist had a good day with the granddaughters to see the new Taylor Swift movie. Good to hear that. This would be good going to movie weather next couple days. Vicki Berger, you have a great afternoon as well. Thanks for tuning in here this morning. Now, this is the there you go. Pretty wet, soggy, sloppy weather there for midday, early afternoon tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, we'll start to see this rain taper off, and that's going to lead us into some nice conditions for the rest of the week. All right, so let's bring up a look at the forecast here as we get to the latter stages of the Ben at 10 show. Thanks for tuning in here this morning, guys. If you're watching the replay, feel free to drop in and let us know what's happening and say hello from your area. So we have showers, obviously, today. It's going to be a wet Tuesday, 1 to 2 inch rainfall totals, and then a cooler pattern for the rest of the week. Play ball forecast, 70s and showers for this afternoon. Later today, it might trend a little drier southeast of Louisville, and then wetter west of I-65 in general. We'll see how it plays out. Harvest homecoming this week, Thursday through Sunday. It looks like we'll have good weather for that. We've got our weather countdown here, only 13 days away until our average highs are in the 60s. We'll get a little taste, a little tease of those 60s, I think, Wednesday, Thursday. Time change in 27 days. That'll be a 5:42 p.m. sunset, November 2nd. Average first flurries in 40 days, Thanksgiving in 52 days. Had a lot of weather history here for you. Again, I'm going to slap that on Facebook at noon if you want to take a longer look at that one. You got a mix of tropics and winter weather this time of the year with the weather history. And we had our weather jokes today from John Fox. What kind of shoes do frogs wear? Open-toed sandals. How do I know my girlfriend thought I was invading her privacy? She wrote about it in her diary. Not quite weather-related, but these are from John, so I'm sharing them. Did I tell you about the time I went mushroom hunting? It's a story with a moral at the ending. A moral. Get it? All right, lower levels of the allergy report here, and today's forecast for your Monday, October the 6th, 78. Showers increasing throughout the day. In the evening time, south wind at around 5 to 10. Keep the umbrella handy the next couple days. Rain tonight, 64 our low temperature. Again, not concerned about severe weather. And a 100% chance of that rain tomorrow. 60s in the morning, 74 in the afternoon. Pretty close, obviously, to our normal high of 74. Sun up at 7:44 and sunset at 7:16. We've got improving conditions midweek. Dry Wednesday, 70 degrees. And look at the nighttime chill on the way with 40s. Wednesday and Thursday nights might get that furnace kicking on. Some sunshine Thursday and Friday. I've dropped a 20% chance of an isolated shower Saturday. One of the models keeps us dry. The other model has just a very tiny chance. It looks like we're mostly dry for the rest of this week, but good-looking high temperatures near normal and our lows in the 40s and 50s. So all looking pretty good there. Got a question popping in from Christian about the hurricane track. Don't think we have any hurricanes out there, but we can take a look at the National Hurricane Center. I invite you to go anytime to nhc.noaa.gov, and you've got your outlook right here. So they're watching one area here, west of Africa, central Atlantic Ocean. And as you click on that, this is a 70% chance of cyclone formation in 7 days. So a broad area of low pressure associated with a low-latitude tropical wave continues to produce a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms over the tropical central Atlantic. Environmental conditions appear generally conducive for gradual development of the system, and a tropical depression is likely to form within the next few days, while it moves quickly west-northwestward across the central tropical Atlantic, approaching the northern Leeward Islands by latter part of the week. So maybe this weekend it'll become more interesting for areas around the Bahamas again, the vacation islands. We'll see about that. There is your tropical update. Another live look out here with the Falls of the Ohio.org camera here. Falls of the Ohio Foundation. Looking at some cloudy conditions, a little bit gloomy start to our day. And again, I always want to invite you here to extolmag.com/weather. This is a day where you can see your interactive radar has some active weather on it. Brand new 7-day forecast, brand new weather story posted, and some more weather resources for you there. You can see any alerts or a regional radar, and there is a look at the looping full screen interactive radar that has other things on it. You can plot temperatures showing upper 60s and low 70s. You can plot the winds, any potential storm tracks, all that good stuff right there. It has that rain moving to the northeast at 9 miles per hour with a rainfall rate of 3/4 of an inch per hour there in Washington County, Kentucky. So some fun things to play with, some tools right there for you anytime. All right, cruising right along one more time. Want to mention that you can always reach out to us if you got a weather question or an advertising marketing question for Extol Weather, Extol Media. We're right here for you. Ben at extolmag.com, Jason at extolmag.com. We can be your megaphone for Southern Indiana and beyond, for your organization, your company, your business. Let us know if we can help out with that. And bringing this back up to stage, I want to give a shout out to our partners, Lions Roofing, lionsroofingco.com. You don't want a leaky roof in this kind of rain, 1 to 2 inches of rain on the way. If you see any messed up shingles or anything, you got some questions, here you go. Free estimate online, or you can just give them a call. They've got you covered in Southern Indiana, in Kentucky, Louisville Metro, 812-294-3595. If I haven't mentioned it, great family-owned company right here in Southern Indiana, right out of Memphis, Indiana. They've helped my family out with my mom's tore-up roof earlier this year, and same here for Michael Long. So you might, again, have to work hand in hand if you have any roofing issues, but they've also had auto renewal reductions in prices here. Michael tells me, actually, I saw it on my bill. So I was happy to see that. If you want to get a quote, tell him that I sent you. Ben sent you to Michael Long here at amfam.com. You go to amfam.com, just search Michael Long. It's going to take you to this contact page, 812-578-3072. Tuesdays at the Tech is tomorrow. So Ivy Tech Community College right here, our Sellersburg location, 9 miles north of Louisville. Highway 311 and I-65 is where their campus is at and growing. They've got dozens of 2-year certification programs. They can meet you where you're at, whether in high school or any age. If you want to level up or a career change, they've got you covered. It is easy to get started. They'll help you out with tuition and aid and all that stuff. You can RSVP. Tomorrow, again, is Tuesday. And then you can get that one-on-one assistance with the folks there, instructors and administration. How to get started at Ivy Tech, register for classes, career development, paying for college. They're going to have a trunk or treat later this month, so we'll talk more about that with them as well in the days ahead. So great to have them powering our workforce here in Southern Indiana. And we got Joe Banks with the good morning. Thanks for tuning in. If you're tuning in a little bit later, again, we covered the forecast in detail. We had some weather jokes, weather history, hour-by-hour radar, rainfall totals, all that good stuff, and the long-range outlook as well. So plenty to look back over. Thanks for watching the replay, if you're watching the replay too. And one last look from outside the Extol Media Studios here at 10:51 a.m. We've been chatting for a while. There you can see the gloomy conditions with some of the dampish roads, as Dennis said earlier, a little dampish outside there with some heavier pockets of rain here and there as well. All right, that'll do it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to our Monday edition, October 6th. Thanks for watching, whether it's on my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, extolmag.com/weather on the good old World Wide Web. We'll see you right here tomorrow morning. We're going to be tracking a bunch more rain for your Tuesday and talking more about the cooler pattern on the way as well. We'll end it here with Christian. Christian always tuning in. Thanks for